You don't need to go to Niagara Falls when you can eat some Brian balls.
What's going on, NASCAR Diecast collectors and diecast reviewers on YouTube? And this is Original Bri here, and welcome back to a brand new episode of the NASCAR Diecast News, hosted by me, Brian LaFleur Jr. And today, guys, we got ourselves an action-packed episode you do not want to miss of this brand new episode of the NASCAR Diecast News. And we are going to be going to the classics, guys. We got your newly released diecasts from our good friends at our local dealers. We also do got some newest pre-orders as well, guys, if you're big patriotic fans and Charlotte fans, and this is going to be a good one for you guys. We also do got a bunch of cancellations as well. 14 new cancellations for this episode, guys. We also got a fan of the week as well that we'll be checking out from Charlotte. And we also do got the official reveal for NASCAR Authentics 2018, the second Cracker Barrel wave. It's back and better than ever, guys. And we're going to get to all this information and more as the NASCAR Diecast News starts right now. Alright everybody, welcome to the NASCAR Diecast News. This is Brian LaFleur Jr., also known as Original Big Brian, and we're going to go ahead and get things started with your newly released diecast from our good friends at Plan B Sales, and we're going to go ahead and go down through this list, guys. We got to start off with the 164s like we usually do. 23 new 164s to be talking about, but we do got some, majority of them are 2018, but we do got 5 of them that are late 2017 releases. So without further ado, let's get things started. First one up, we got Kevin Harvick's number 4 Busch NA Ford Fusion from you know, the man of the hour so far in this season, Kevin Harvick. And it's pretty interesting to see this car ran. He ran this at one of the playoff races, as you can tell by the green splitter and the green spoiler. However, though, we do not have any Monster Energy logos on this car, excluding the windshield as well, guys. So this definitely does look kind of inaccurate, but it is kind of, it's trying to be very accurate, but like I said, guys, it does look kind of odd with no Monster Energy logos or not even the green banner that's supposed to be on the windshield. So yeah, very unfortunate right there, but a very unique paint scheme that we got for Kevin Harvick in this non-alcoholic car. Quite ironic that Busch made a car that's non-alcoholic, and yeah, it's on the base. But yeah, I just find the irony right there, but pretty distinct looking car, if I say so myself. Next up, we got some William Byron diecast from his Xfinity cars. We do got both Liberty University schemes, guys. We got his Xfinity Champion car, which is you know, if you're a fan of the Xfinity Champion diecast, would recommend getting these. But I'm not really a big fan of those, so I probably won't. And we also do got the Sunoco Rookie of the Year as well, because as you guys know, he was also the Rookie of the Year for last year. So pretty cool right there for some William Byron diecast fans. Next up, these two I'm going to do a review on these once I get these, because these are not at NASCAR Authentics yet. So, and they are some Martin Truex Jr. guys, so get ready for some Martin Truex Jr. diecast reviews on this channel. And it's going to be on the Bass Pro Shops Ducks Unlimited car, which he drove at the Fall Bristol race, which looks absolutely amazing. I do love the green on this car, guys. I mean, I didn't really like this paint scheme at first, but it really started to grow on to me, especially with the bright green, and then we got the fade to this nice bright blue with the black as well. So, I mean, definitely something a lot more different than what we usually get for the Ducks. I mean, when I say it's an improvement unlike last year's, I think Dale Jr.'s Ducks Unlimited car was pretty awesome, and I wish they brought back the camo. But this car definitely is lacking the camo, but still actually, it's not, it does have camo, I will correct myself, but not as much as like previous Ducks Unlimited cars. So yeah, you can, yeah, I'm sorry guys, I could barely tell that this car had camouflage on it, but it does. So false alarm right there. And we also do got another Bass Pro Shops car, which is the 40th anniversary throwback for Martin Truex Jr., which of course, I said it's a throwback, so of course we had to run it at Darlington, and he almost nearly won at this race with this paint scheme, but we all saw what happened. He ended up hitting the wall, overdriving it way too hard, and you know, Denny Hamlin was the man of the hour. Too bad it got encumbered. But this car wasn't encumbered because it didn't even freaking win the race. But lots of big Dale Earnhardt fans or DEI fans will recognize this paint scheme. Bass Pro Shops didn't really comment that this was a throwback to Dale Earnhardt or anything like that, but you can easily tell, guys, that this paint scheme just really resembles that famous gold and black paint scheme that Dale Earnhardt used to drove back in the day during his night races for the NASCAR races. So just a beautiful paint scheme. I think the gold, they absolutely nailed it, guys, and I would recommend picking up both scales, guys, once they are available at your dealers, which I believe they are now. So like I said, those last two diecasts I showed you guys, expect a review on those very shortly. But now we're gonna get back to the 2018 diecast, because that's all we're here for, and most of these I'm gonna wrap up pretty quickly because some of them are very similar to last year's, but this one isn't, guys. We got Jay McMurray's number 1 gear wrench Chevrolet Camaro Zl1. This is a car that has just now hit the stores from Wave 3 as well, guys, for NASCAR Authentics. So a big change in paint scheme that we got for this year, and I absolutely love it. Too bad it does not have a matte finish to it. I think a matte finish will look amazing. It looks like we got a glossy finish, but man, I love the orange on this car, and the orange and black just goes very well. It's a simple paint scheme, but definitely a nice, refreshing new look for the gear wrench car. And not really refreshing for these next two diecasts. I'm going to show you some Brad Keselowski cars. We got the Auto Trader car, which has been, it's basically similar to Joey Logano's Auto Trader car. But if you're a big fan of orange and blue, then it's a cool looking car. But we've had this paint scheme for quite a while now, but I can't complain. Still a really cool looking car. We also got the Alliance Truck Bars car, and that's a paint scheme that I think definitely might need a change now, because the paint scheme's starting to get old, even though the paint scheme layout's pretty much the same for every Penske car. But that's how it is, guys. But yeah, he usually drives that car, I believe, at Phoenix, which is now known as ISM, and he drove the Auto Trader car at Atlanta, if I'm not mistaken. But I could be wrong. Well, we got some Chase Elliott diecast next, guys, and we got the Sun Energy 1 car, and this is something I forgot to post on the NASCAR Diecast News official Instagram page and the Facebook page, so this is kind of like a late breaking news right here, so you guys are getting some pretty exclusive shit right here, if you know what I'm saying. But, man, I love, I just love messing around with you guys. But yeah, back to the Sun Energy 1 car, guys. A really cool looking car, even though the paint scheme is pretty similar to the beginning, since Chase Elliott drove this car back in 2016. But it is on a brand new mold, and it's on his new numbers, so I say it's a recommend. Go out and get it, guys. Still a beautiful paint scheme for the Sun Energy 1 car. And another paint scheme change that we got for this year is Kelly Blue Book for Chase Elliott. You know, this definitely is another cool paint scheme that I probably would recommend getting as well, guys. I mean, we got a lot of great Chase Elliott cars this year, guys. But when I say is it better than last year's, I think last year's was probably a little bit better, but this one definitely is a little more on the basic side, but still looks pretty decent. And luckily, the rumors were false. It looks like, by just looking at this picture, it looks like we do not have a screwed up metallic finish, from what I know. I could be wrong, though. Then we're gonna have guys like Race Day 2011 reviewing this car, and you know, the metallic might be messed up. But hopefully they'll learn from the Napa car, guys, because man, that was such atrocious. But beautiful looking car. And I apologize if I'm sniffling a lot, guys. I am going through some. It is allergy season, so yeah, if you guys are really bored or if you're annoyed by this, then I do apologize that in advance. But another car to get excited about, especially me being a big fan of the Menards paint scheme, guys. We got we finally got the Ryan Blaney Menards car, guys. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, a lot of people are like, oh, this car gives me headaches because it's a freaking highlighter car, which it is, but I love it, guys. And, you know, it makes it easier so much for the spotters, unless you're Paul Menard's spotter and Ryan Blaney's. But luckily, they don't drive both Menards cars, guys, in the same race. Otherwise, that'd be pretty darn confusing. But, man, I love this paint scheme, guys. The red numbers look amazing, and they need, for the love of God, bring the red numbers back. And by the way, my boy Ryan Blaney just won the pole for the Pocono race, so that's amazing. But yeah, guys, Team Penske, if you're watching this video, or Ryan Blaney, or anybody who is in control of that Menard scheme, please do me a favor. Bring back the red numbers. Keep the white letters on the side, but bring back the red numbers, guys. I love the red numbers. And you guys probably know why, because I'm a huge Ryan Blaney and Sign Paginal fan, and those paint schemes go very well. They don't go too well when you have, you know, the IndyCar has a red number, but then you got the NASCAR that's switched to a white number. Plus, white on yellow doesn't really suit my needs. A lot of people might like it, but it is a little hard for me to read. But, I don't know, guys, but at least the diecast got made. I'm really excited about that, and this is a car I would highly recommend getting, guys. Expect a review on this car from Wave 3 very soon. Next up, we got Kyle Busch number 18, Eminem's Toyota Camry, a car very similar to last year's with the addition of the Ream logo on the corner panel, but that's about it. So, yeah. Next up, we get Daniel Schwarz's number 19, Aric. So, they brought back the iconic Aric paint scheme that Carl Edwards used to drove. So, yeah, that's kind of ironic right there. But still a decent-looking car. I mean, thank God it's not on the PTC mold. But, you know, I mean, it's not too bad. I mean, the only difference is that we got, you know, the 2018 Toyota Camry mold, which we had since last year, and the Peak logo on the corner panel. But other than that, it basically looks like Carl Edwards' ride from a couple years ago. Kind of ironic, eh? But gotta love Aric. This one's actually a big difference in the paint scheme that I actually kind of like now, and it is Daniel Schwarz's number 19 Stanley Tools Toyota Camry, what a beautiful car this is, guys. And they actually had a fan vote of what the paint scheme is going to be for this year, and I'm glad they did that. Just another cool reason why you love Joe Gibbs Racing and Dan Suarez. But really cool that Stanley decided to do that with the fans, and they voted for this paint scheme. And I have to admit, it is starting to grow on me. Some people might think it's kind of like a messy paint scheme, but you know what, guys? I'm all in for the new paint scheme, guys, because if we had to go another year with the Stanley paint scheme, I think it would get old. Even though I did like the old Stanley paint scheme, I think this one is definitely a close second in my books. Just wish the black was a little more darker, but you know, it is what it is. It's still a really cool looking car, guys. I mean, I gotta admit that, guys. But yeah, besides you know, adding more black, this car definitely is amazing. Next up, we got still a bunch of diecasts to go, guys. Holy crap, this is going to be a very long episode, but I hope you guys, if you guys are a loyal fan and you watch this whole video, then you guys are freaking awesome. So, yeah. Next up, we got Aric Jones' number 20 DeWalt Tools, a car very similar to Matt Kenseth's paint scheme from last year. I guess Joe Gibbs Racing getting pretty lazy with their paint schemes lately. But with all the side, guys, I mean, with the addition of the Research logo, this car is very similar to last year's, guys. So, yeah. Next up, we got Paul Menard's number 21 Menard's Richmond car. So, we got another Menard's car released, ironically. But this is the Paul Menard car, which, you know, if there's anybody who's more Menardy than Paul Menard. Menardy, wow, that's a word now, apparently. Nice job, Brian. Let's Google that, see if that's actually a word. If not, then I just created a new word for you guys. So this car, all I can say in it is very Menardy. But next up, also, guys, we got some more Team Penske cars. We got the Auto Trader car from Joey Logano. Again, similar to Brad Keselowski's Auto Trader cars, so that's that. And we also got the Joey Logano Pennzoil car. So, you know, I still love this paint scheme. If you guys still have not got this car yet, I would recommend getting it. If you failed to pick it up last year, which was also in NASCAR Authentics, if I'm not mistaken, from Wave 9. Yes, I believe so. Next up, we got a fantasy car, which is driven by, well, not really driven by anybody because it's a fantasy car, but it's a William Byron / Jeff Gordon hashtag 24-hour car. Now, when they announced a new driver for the 24, I kind of had a feeling, would it be ironic if they, you know, brought the 24-hour paint scheme back? Well, nobody did really ask for it, but they did it for obvious reasons. That's one word: money. Lionel's got to have that money, guys. So they got to milk out everything they can with the 24, especially since, you know, they brought the yellow 24 back for William Byron. I mean, so it was without a doubt we were going to see this car. You know, I'm not a big fan of this paint scheme collaboration, but if you're a huge fan of the 24, I understand. But, you know, this diecast, you know, the original 24-hour car was cool, but this one just definitely tells you that they are using it for the money, which is pretty sickening, but it is what it is. Next up, we got Ryan Newman's number 31 Bass Pro Shops Cabela's car. So, a very interesting partnership that we got for two outdoor companies. So, yeah, this is going to be really cool. I believe we're also going to be getting the Austin Dillon version of this car as well, if I'm not mistaken. So, which is going to be exactly the same. But a brand new sponsor that we got for Ryan Newman. You know, the paint scheme definitely is very simple. I mean, the color green is definitely a questionable one, that's for certain. I guess that's what Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's kind of wanted. But it's definitely different. When I say it's my favorite Newman car, probably not, but it's definitely different, to say the least. Next up, we got our Lord and Savior, Bubba Wallace, at number 43, Click and Close Chevrolet Camaro Zl1. Yeah, buddy, guys. We got some Bubba diecast rolling in, and this is one of many that we're going to be having for this year, guys, because we got lots of diecasts for Bubba Wallace coming in very, very soon from everybody who pre-ordered those diecasts. But this is the start of it right here, guys. The Click and Coast Chevrolet car. Absolutely fantastic, especially if you're a big fan of that royal purple, or whatever that purple is. Beautiful, beautiful paint scheme. Click and Close, you know, they accidentally kind of leaked this car way before the release happened, but it was all for good reasons, guys, because this is such a beautiful car, guys. I'm looking forward to see what we're going to be getting more for Bubba Wallace, and we'll see how this guy goes on the future episodes, guys. But we got 2 more diecasts to be talked about for the 164s, and we're going to go on to the 124s. And we got next up, the GOAT of NASCAR, Martin Truex Jr., and number 78 Bass Pro Shops Tracker Boats fantasy car. Well, I'm saying fantasy because it's not technically the car that he's driving at the races, but like I said with the Monster Energy logos, they cannot put that on the 164. It's the same concept with the 5-hour energy logos, guys. So this is actually a really interesting thing, guys, because, you know, when I heard that 5-hour energy was going to be a main sponsor for Martin Truex Jr., first thing that popped in my mind was like, oh crap, there goes all the 164 diecast for this year. Luckily, they utilized that in good use. If you guys remember the Auto Owners car from a couple episodes ago, the 5 Energy logo was on the corner panel for the 124s. But on 164s, they put the Furniture Row logo on there in replacement of it. I think they did it for Nascar Authentics as well. So they took that idea and incorporated it in a very unique way on this car. So the Tracker Boats is actually where 5-hour energy is supposed to be. And that goes well pretty well, guys. And to be honest with you, if 5-hour energy doesn't really work out for Truex, guys, I could probably see this car being like that for many years. But, you know, I think 5-hour energy, you know, kind of likes Truex because, you know, he's only won one race so far, but, you know, he's the defending champion, and, you know, they got to have that Furniture Row racing money. But in all seriousness, guys, this is actually, you know, I had mixed feelings about the paint scheme at first because, you know, the Bass Pro Shops paint schemes have been amazing throughout the last 2 years for Truex. This one definitely, I think it's a step down in, like, you know, color variation, but it's simple and it's starting to grow on me. Maybe it's because I'm a big Truex fan, maybe that's why, but, you know, it's starting to get there. Will I still say it's my favorite Bass Pro Shops car? Absolutely not. I mean, hopefully next year they'll change the paint scheme, but for now, I'm going to let it slide. And this car, you know, it's not too bad, but it's not my favorites. And last one to talk about, guys, we got Alex Bowman's number 88 Exalta Chevrolet. So, you guys know about the Exalta paint scheme. They are sharing it with William Byron and Alex Bowman. Of course, Byron got the most beautiful looking Exalta car for this year. And then you got Alex Bowman, which is, you know, he kind of wants to be, you know, kind of like William Byron's, but in all the wrong reasons. But in all seriousness, guys, it's still a really good looking car. I mean, I like the fluorescent yellows. I can't even talk right now. Holy crap. Those allergies are really starting to get to my head right now. I mean, for Christ's sake, look at me, I'm already choking up the storm. I guess this is how I'm going to go on the diecast news. But as I'm almost dying talking about the Alex Bowman car, guys, maybe the colors were so bright they just got me nauseated and made my allergies go like haywire. But anyways, guys, getting really on topic, we got a lot to talk about, guys. Alex Bowman car, I think it's another cool car you guys should go out and get. And now let's get on to the 124s, guys. So they're going to be all race win diecast, which are all exclusive unless we get something from NASCAR Authentics. But for now, we're going to be looking at all the exclusives for the 124s. That first one up is Kevin Harvick's number 4 Mobile One Texas race win, guys. So, I mean, it's pretty cool that Kevin Harvick was the one. I mean, you guys know Kevin Harvick has been, you know, notoriously driving the Jimmy John's car through God knows how long, winning races in that car. But before that happened, guys, he was winning races in the Mobile One pace scheme, guys. I mean, it happened with Sonoma last year, and he did it again for his second win at Texas with the Mobile One colors. So really beautiful looking car. As you see right there, it's got the burnout damage and the Monster Energy playoff banners, which look amazing. I mean, the green definitely does look, it definitely pops out, and you guys are going to get yourself a pretty cool, accurate diecast. Plus, it's a 2017 release, so the deck lid still opens as well, guys, so better get them while they last. Next one up, we got Kyle Busch's number 18 Eminem's Caramel Bristol Fall Race wins. So this car is literally littered with confetti, and that's all I gotta say, guys. If you're a big fan of confetti, get this car, guys, because this car is just literally littered with confetti. And Eminem's Caramel, guys, you gotta love that paint scheme. And next up, we got the Kyle Larson number 42 Target Michigan race win, guys. So Kyle Larson, the king of the Irish Hills. We can only hope. Hopefully, he'll get that 4th one very soon. But as you see right there, the gradient got kind of messed up. I mean, it's not as bad as what the other previous Kyle Larson cars that we had for 2017 for race wins. I think the gradient got a little bit more better, but it's still kind of inaccurate. I mean, it's almost there. It seems like Lionel is starting to get there. I mean, the gradient ratio is definitely a lot more better than what we've had, you know, the past couple race wins for Larson. But again, another cool looking car that's littered with confetti, and I recommend getting it, especially for any huge Kyle Larson fans out there. Next up, we got March Extras, number 78, Furniture Row, Watkins Glen Race Win. Now, you guys are probably wondering, am I going to get this car? Well, I had this car on pre-order, but I was getting kind of tight on money, and by the time it started shipping out, I was saving up money for the Indy 500. So, the question is, will I get this car? Yes, I will. I am planning to get every single Truex car for race wins from last year. Maybe the Fontana win as well, even though the Declan won't open as far as I know. But yeah, this car is actually pretty cool. It's also pretty cool as well because it is a Watkins Glen race win. So you see right there, the American FL logo is on the other side of the car. Can't really see it in this picture. But if you also notice and look pretty closely, if you see some detailed photos of this car, on the windshield, you actually got a windshield wiper decal on there. So great attention to detail from Lionel. And maybe it's a cool difference, but why? Because, you know, some people will be like, oh, why should I get this car if, because Truex already wanted the Kentucky car, or already wanted this paint scheme in the Kentucky. But there are some slight differences, and I would recommend getting it. I mean, it's not really too raced, but the attention to detail that this car has definitely does stick out to its others. And the last one to talk about, guys, we got Matt Crafton's 2017 number 88. Oh my God, it's another Menards truck. I almost said car, but it's a truck. His Eldora race win, guys. Yeah, the Eldora diecast, it's rolling in, guys. We haven't had one since Kyle Larson's DC Solar car truck. Wow, I just screwed that up. Take two. But just kidding, guys. This is so unscripted. But yeah, I mean, you guys can tell right there, the bright Florenza yellow, or the Danglo yellow, that's a proper term, looks pretty freaking fantastic on this. Even though there's no opening functions on the truck diecast, still this car is littered with sponsors, and I'm sure it's littered with a whole lot of dirt because this car got dirty very fast with that bright paint scheme. But all great diecast to be talking about, guys. But that's going to wrap up on all the newly released diecast that we got from here. And now to get on to the pre-orders, guys. So if you're a big fan of Kevin Harvick, then these next three are probably going to be, you know, quite shocking for you guys. But not really, in all seriousness. This guy is probably the man to beat, but I mentioned we got Kevin Harvick diecast. So where do I start? We got his Dover race win car. That's available for pre-order. We got the Kansas race win car. That's available for pre-order. What about the All-Star race, guys? That's also available for pre-order. I mean, just absolutely amazing. Although I do gotta say the one thing about the Kansas win car, it's actually a car that Jimmy Johnson did not want in, guys. It's actually the Busch car. So there goes that conspiracy theory of, oh, Kevin Harvick can only drive and win a race if it's in a white car. So that throw that theory right out the window. But the last other pre-order to be talking about, guys, it is part of the patriotic paint teams that we got for this episode, guys. Lots of patriotic cars, but this one in particular is probably very significant. Your 2018 Coca-Cola 600 race winner, Kyle Busch, the number 18 Eminem's red, white, and blue patriotic car. So I mean, yeah, Kyle Busch, without a doubt, another driver that has definitely dominated the sport so far. And he actually just broke a record of winning now every single race. I mean, unless you want to count the Roval. But he has won in every single track so far and has broke a record in NASCAR for the Cup Series. So quite an accomplishment that we got for Kyle Busch, guys. I mean, one of the best drivers that we have in our sport at the moment. I mean, along with all the others like Jimmy Johnson and Kevin Harvick and, you know, everybody else in that mix. So yeah, guys, that's really all much I gotta talk about the pre-orders, guys. I'm sorry it's pretty short, but we do got a lot of other stuff to be talking about. And speaking of that, guys, we're going to be looking at the cancellations. But before we do that, let's look at our fan of the week, guys. And our fan of the week is going to go to an Instagrammer known as @CheesyBoy for I apologize if that name is quite broad, but that's actually what it is, guys. So congratulations to Cheesy Boy, and he actually ended up finding the 2018 Kyle Larson Credit One Bank 164. Very cool find, and Been glad for your continued support of the NASCAR Diecast News. So thank you for being the fan of the week, Cheesy Boy. And if you guys want to be the next fan of the week, then feel free to hit up a photo of our Instagram. And if you guys are at a track and you find some new release diecast, then feel free to post them and tag us on our Instagram page, guys, because that's probably the only way you're going to get recognized for the fan of the week. But now let's get on to the cancellations, guys. We got a lot of cancellations to talk about, guys. 14 new cancellations, and I'm going to try to go them pretty quickly because we're already going to be close to half an hour in this video, and I don't want you guys to be waiting here too long because we still got to talk about NASCAR Authentics, guys. So let's get on to the cancellations, and let's wrap these up very quickly. So first one up, we got the 2018 Storehouse Racing 10th anniversary car. Canceled in the 1/64 scale only. So, you know, I'm not really a big fan of these program cars, and but you know, it's definitely the year for Storehouse Racing. So this car definitely came off as a surprise for me, especially for 1/64 collectors. But the 1/24 version will still be made, so not really a big loss right there. But if you like to save money and get the 1/64s, then this one definitely is going to suck for you guys. Next one up is a pretty big surprise. We got Jay McMurray's #1 McDonald's Chevrolet canceled in both 1/24 scales, guys. So the Elite and ARC have been canceled. It will be made in the 1/64 though, guys, but that's some big breaking news for any hardcore Jay McMurray fans who do love to collect 1/24s, guys. And a lot of people wondering, well, why did they cancel the McDonald's car? They changed the paint scheme for this year. True, but there's another driver that shared the McDonald's sponsorship for this year, and that's Kyle Larson. So Kyle Larson has a much more bigger fan base, and McMurray doesn't, so I can see why probably McMurray was the odd man out. Plus, we can only imagine how many more years left McMurray has until, you know, he's gone from NASCAR. But, yeah, that's pretty disappointing right there. Next up, we got Aric Almirola's 2018 #10 Go Bowling car. This is another car that falls into the mix of being canceled in both 1/24 scale, guys. So, yeah, I mean, not really much of a big loss right there, especially for the 1/64 collectors. But if you did, I guess this will only hurt you if you're a big fan of Aric Almirola and you do love bowling. So, yeah, that's pretty fortunate right there for any Aric Almirola fans. Next up, we got Clint Bowyer's #14 Ford Hall of Fans car. This car just recently got updated, and it's canceled in the 1/24 Elite version and the 1/64. So the only scale that's available at the moment for this car is the 1/24 ARC, and that has made an MOQ. So haven't had, you know, I mean, pretty ironic. It's so ironic seeing the Storehouse Racing cars getting canceled, guys, because they're such the dominant team for this year. But, you know, I guess the old saying, you know, if someone's dominant, eventually they will get canceled. I mean, look at the Joe Gibbs Racing cars, and then even one point we had Hendrick cars being canceled a couple years ago. Man, remember that when Dale Jr.'s car got canceled in 2014, the Mountain Dew Chase car? Man, what an interesting time to be alive around that. But back to 2018, guys, we gotta, you know, move on from the past. Yeah, the Clint Bowyer Ford Hall of Fans, I mean, I wouldn't really consider myself a Ford Hall of Fans because Ford's probably my least favorite manufacturer. But, you know, that's just my opinion. But I guess the fans kind of agree with that as well. But the 1/24 ARC version is still available for pre-order, guys. For you guys are wondering, this one came off as a big surprise, especially for any ARCA fans. This one, I did not expect coming. So, you guys remember the Michael Self Sinclair car that we got, and that was supposed to be a race win? Well, it still is going to be a race win, but it's only going to be made in one scale. You want to know what that scale that is? The 1/24, guys. So the 1/64 version has unfortunately been canceled. Wow. I mean, I'm pretty surprised with this. I mean, how in the world can your Daytona ARCA winner get canceled, but then you got, you know, the vegan driver freaking got made? I mean, wow. That is just pretty unbelievable, guys. I mean, especially since, did you guys even saw the render of this car? It looks absolutely fantastic. How in the living hell did this car got canceled in the 1/64 scale? Hopefully NASCAR Authentics can probably save this car, but I highly doubt it because we don't have ARCA diecast made yet. But I could be wrong, guys. We better be praying to the NASCAR Authentics gods that this car makes it into one of the waves, guys, because this is pretty underwhelming to see this car getting canceled. But for 124 collectors, guys, you're in luck because this car will be made in that scale. Next up, some of these cars aren't really surprising, but we got Aric Jones, number 20, Circle K, canceled in both 124 scales, so the Elite and ARC. So 164 will still be produced, but same paint scheme as last year's with Matt Kenseth, so nothing too different right there. Next up, kind of ironic, we got our first Xfinity race win car getting canceled, and it's not a cup winner, guys. You guys remember our good old party boy, Spencer Gallagher, and his number 23 Allegiant car? Well, that got canceled for his Talladega race win, guys, in the 124 scale. And it was only made in 124 scale. So, yeah, looks like we're not going to see a Spencer Gallagher car being made, guys. I mean, even if he didn't got busted with the drug bust, guys, then, I mean, I think part of it has to do with that. But then again, Spencer Gallagher is still a pretty underrated guy. Well, he's definitely underrated now because, you know, the whole the drug craze he had. But, yeah, not really much to say right there. But, just try not to party too hard when you get this car canceled. Man, we still got a lot to talk about, guys. Holy crap. We got Michael McDowell's number 34 Loves Speedco car that has been canceled in both 124 scales. So 164 version still be available, and I think it's still made MOQ, so you know, nothing too crazy right there. We got some David Reagan dice gas, guys, that got canceled. We got the 1000bulbs.com car, very ironic sponsor, but very interesting to say the least. That has been canceled in both 124 scales, so 164 still will be made, but it is a pretty basic looking car. However, though, a longtime sponsor for David Reagan, guys, we got the Shriners Hospital for Children's car. This is one of the two cars that I'm about to show you that has been canceled in all scales. So this car will not be made whatsoever for this year. It has been canceled in all scales for this year, which is downright disappointing. Even though I think the teal on this car definitely is a interesting choice to say the least, even though it's based on the same car as last year's. I mean, I think that's the only reason why, because we did got this car made last year, for Christ's sake. So yeah. Next up, we got Bubba Wallace's number 43 Food Lion car. This has been canceled in the 164 scale version only. Another basic looking car, guys. I mean, if you notice with the Richard Petty paint schemes as well, guys, they have the similar layouts and the colors are just a little bit different. So you know, not really a big loss, because we do have still a bunch, and I mean a good amount of Bubba Wallace diecast to be produced for this year, guys. I believe the Farmer John card just got made, and we got the Eckridge, and we got just so much more, guys. Just absolutely amazing. But luckily, I mean, unfortunately, Food Lion 1 has to suffer for this. Speaking of suffering, guys, we got another Lord and Savior. We got Spencer Boyd. Man, remember that name? And his number 76 Grunt Style Xfinity car. This has unfortunately been canceled in the 164 version. So the 124 version will still be, it's actually made MOQ, guys. Kind of ironic, because when this car first released on the cancellation list, it was canceled in both scales. But I guess Grunt Style bought some cars, and they met the MOQ because of that. And now the 124 version will be made, so that's pretty cool right there. Two more cancellations, then we're going to get on to the good stuff. We got War Trucks Juniors, number 78, Auto Owners Insurance, also known as the Big A car. This has unfortunately been canceled in both 124 scales, guys. No, that's kind of disappointing, but then again, I'm not really a big fan of the 124 cars, especially since the ARCs, because the quality is crap for this year, and the Elites are still kind of expensive for what you pay for. Just to get, you know, a little bit more features than what you should get with the ARC from last year. So yeah, I mean, it definitely kind of sucks for 124 collectors, but at least we're gonna get the 164 produced, so that's all that matters for me. But I don't know what you guys probably think about that. And last one to be talked about, guys, this car has been canceled in all scales, like I promised. We got Cades number 95 Pro Core safety car. It's a basic plain car. That's all I gotta say. I mean, black and yellow, man. But for real, guys, I think this car definitely was a little underwhelming. I can see why this car got canceled. But holy crap, guys, that wraps up on a pretty action-packed cancellation list, guys. But now we're going to get on to the moment you guys been waiting for. Are you ready for it? It's NASCAR Authentics time. So let's get things started, guys, and let's get this show on the road. So we got we got a new wave to show you guys for NASCAR Authentics, and you guys are probably thinking, oh, wave 5? No, guys, I mean, trust me, if it's wave 5, we would be pretty excited. But are you guys ready for this? I mean, this is going to be just as good as Wave 5. Remember that Cracker Barrel wave that we released along with Wave 7? Because, you know, this is a new partnership that, you know, Lionel had with Cracker Barrel, because we want them to be the official licensed restaurants for NASCAR Diecast. Well, we're bringing that back and bringing it better than ever, guys. And it's so cool that they didn't even announce it on their latest episode of The Fix. So get ready for the second wave of the Cracker Barrel cars, guys. Holy crap. I mean, the Cracker Barrel wave was definitely interesting, and I was kind of hyped up for it. But now I think about it, guys, the Cracker Barrel waves definitely are kind of disappointing. But now you guys are like, oh, well, we haven't seen what these cars are yet, guys, unless you follow my social media. Well, first of all, this came off as a really huge, big surprise, as you guys saw my little cringy monologue. We had no idea that this was going to happen, guys. How I literally found it was, it first started on, I think I saw some people seeing it on Facebook, and they're like, oh, look what I found. This one that hasn't been shown, and it was kind of like, whoa, what the heck's that? I didn't really believe it at first, but then I started seeing it on eBay, and then I started getting messages on this. I was like, okay, this is really ironic. And lo and behold, this was official, guys. This is the second Cracker Barrel wave. And then you guys probably wonder, well, it is an exclusive wave, so are we getting any exclusives? Sadly, no. And another bad thing about, to top it off even worse, we have the Cracker Barrel waves. I really don't like them because you don't get any trinkets as well. And I believe they are the same price. But another thing I really don't like, as I'm showing you guys a picture of this wave, we get more re-releases. I mean, we literally have, well, 8 cars to be talking about this, and it features all the cars, a majority, like a quarter of the cars from like Wave 1 and 2, and majority of them from Wave 3, guys. I mean, what, we have 2 from Wave 1, 2 from Wave 2, and 4 from Wave 3. So this is like a mishmash of cars that you might have missed out. I mean, I do see the purpose of these cars, guys, but it really just defeats the purpose of getting all the other cars that you get from Wave 1, Wave 2, Wave 3. It kind of decreases the rarity a little bit, guys, when you get these re-releases. And, you know, I mean, I don't have a problem with this. I don't want this to be controversial. If you guys like Cracker Barrel waves, I don't mind it, but just, I don't know. It kind of kills the hype for me a little bit, you know. Every time when they release the new NASCAR Authentics wave, it's like, oh, I can't wait to get this car. But then they come out and release these exclusive waves, and it just kills the mood, because what we get these cars like the Gear Wrench McMurray car, the Paul Menard Ford Motorcraft. I mean, we already see, this is the 3rd time. Well, with the Gear Wrench car, this is the 2nd time we're seeing this car. We had it from Wave 3, now we have it here. We have the Paul Menard car, guys. This is the 3rd time we're seeing it for this year, guys. We had from the from this wave, the Daytona wave, and also Wave 2. Mobile 1 car, the same thing. The Exalted car, the same thing. The Auto Owners car, the same thing. And then the last 3 cars, Menard, Smithfield, and the Gray Ghost car, all from Wave 3. But, I mean, I don't mind those cars from Wave 3, but all those other cars that I just mentioned that has showed up now 3 freaking times now is kind of ridiculous. I mean, it's cool if they release it, you know, twice, but doing it 3 freaking times is ridiculous, guys. So, I mean, unless you really missed out on if you guys really missed out on, you know, the Paul Menard, Kevin Harvick, William Byron, and the Truex cars, I say those 4 aren't worth it. And if you guys want to get those 4 cars that I didn't mention, that are in this wave from Wave 3, I say save yourself you know, some time and effort. Go to your Walmart, go to your Target, and pick up Wave 3, because Wave 3 just hit the shelves, guys. I mean, these cars are actually now available at Cracker Barrel as well, but I mean, who really just goes to Cracker Barrel just to shop? I mean, you're gonna go there for the food as well, guys. I mean, unless you're really desperate for NASCAR Diecast, I would recommend getting this, guys. But yeah, I mean, these are currently at Cracker Barrel at the moment, but just yeah, I mean, I don't really know what to say about this. I mean, feel free to comment below what you think the state of NASCAR Authentics is right now, guys. I mean, do you think that they should, do you see the benefit of these Cracker Barrel waves, or do you think that these are just, you know, big peg warmers? I mean, luckily it's at Cracker Barrel, so usually this won't affect the retailers, but it just kind of defeats the purpose. I mean, it's cool that we get NASCAR Diecast at Cracker Barrel. I think that's amazing, but just, you know, they don't offer that much interest as they do. This is just my opinion, guys. I mean, feel free to comment below your guys' opinion on this. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. But, you know, I could go on and on about this, guys, but I don't want to drag myself on about this pretty controversial topic. But yeah, I mean, we can only imagine what's next, guys. I mean, I'm hoping we're gonna get something cool for Wave 5 and such. I believe Wave 5 actually got released, actually got leaked on Lionel Racing Garage. May I smell a good headliner for the next NASCAR Diecast News episode. But this is going to wrap up on the NASCAR Diecast News, guys, and NASCAR Authentics. Yeah, I mentioned this is also going to wrap up NASCAR Diecast News 195, guys. We are literally 5 episodes away from the 200th episode, guys. You guys know what that means. We're going to have our live stream extravaganza, and we're going to have so much other stuff to be talking about on the grand episode for the 200th episode, guys. Got some big plans coming out for that, guys, so stay tuned. Feel free to follow my social media if you guys haven't already. Click that subscribe button, and I will catch you guys on the next episode of the NASCAR Diecast News.